The alien exploration cruiser Valcor drifted silently at the edge of an uncharted star system. Around it stretched a field of shattered asteroids, glowing faintly from the light of a dying red sun. Inside the bridge, the air was calm, until the scanners began to scream. "Commander Raven," said Officer Tallinn, his eyes wide as he stared at the flickering hollow screen. "We're detecting something. It's metallic, massive, and old. Very old." Raven turned his crimson eyes toward the display. The shape was faint, a long, dark outline hidden deep within the radiation storm. "Another wreck?" he asked quietly. Tallinn shook his head. "No, sir. This one's still active. Faint power readings. Human design." The bridge fell silent. Every alien in the room froze at that word. Human. It was impossible. Humanity had vanished more than 3 centuries ago during the Great Collapse. Their cities burned, their fleets destroyed, their world silent. No one had heard from them since. Raven leaned forward. "Run the identification pattern again." The scanners pulsed with blue light. A moment later, the ship's computer confirmed it in a cold, mechanical tone. "Vessel classification, human. Origin, Earth." Gasps filled the bridge. One of the younger officers whispered, "But humans are extinct, aren't they?" Raven didn't answer. He simply stared at the hologram, a massive, dark ship slowly drifting in the storm as if it had been waiting. "Estimate distance," Raven ordered. 4 million kilometers, Commander. But the radiation is strong. We can't get a clean reading. Can we scan for life? Tallinn hesitated. No life signs detected, but the ship's energy core is online. Barely, it shouldn't be. The commander folded his arms. So it's alive. But dead at the same time. The crew exchanged nervous looks. One of the tactical officers grunted. "Maybe it's a ghost ship, a relic. We should report this to the council and leave it alone." Another officer, younger and braver, spoke up. "Or maybe it's a trap. Humans always had strange weapons." The Valcor's engines hummed as the cruiser slowly circled the radiation storm. The unknown vessel came into clearer view through the static clouds, long, angular, and scarred with battle marks. Its hull bore faded letters, USS Horizon. Raven frowned. He had heard that name before, in the oldest war archives. Horizon was one of the first deep space explorers sent by Earth centuries ago. It was supposed to have vanished before the human wars even began. "What is it doing here?" he whispered to himself. Tallinn replied, "Maybe it never stopped exploring, Commander. Maybe it just kept going. Until now." A low hum passed through the Valcor's hull. The lights flickered. "The scanners went wild. Commander!" shouted the engineer. "We're picking up a signal. It's coming directly from the human ship." Raven's gaze hardened. "Put it on screen." The holographic display flickered and a message appeared, simple in the old Earth language. The translation came instantly. "Stay back. You are not ready for what's inside." A silence deeper than space filled the bridge. The crew looked to their commander. "Is that a warning?" Tallinn asked softly. Raven didn't answer. His mind raced. How could a ship that old still transmit messages? And how could it know they were watching? He gave the order anyway. "Send a response. Identify us as explorers from the Thal Dominion. Tell them we come in peace." The communication array crackled and then sparked violently. Alarms blared across the bridge. "Something's wrong," the engineer shouted. "Our systems are being scanned. No, hacked. It's rewriting our navigation code." Raven gripped the edge of his console. "Counter it. Shut down the external relays." "I'm trying." The lights dimmed to red. One by one, the ship's engines powered down. The Valcor began to drift. Tallinn's hands trembled over his controls. "It's not just hacking us, Commander. It's controlling us. How is that possible?" Raven growled. "Their technology was primitive compared to ours." But the data streaming across the consoles told a different story. The human ship was accessing systems it shouldn't even understand. It was bypassing encryption, rewriting protocols, and feeding strange code into the Valcor's AI. On the main screen, the image of the human vessel glowed brighter. Its engines, long dead, began to flicker to life with pale blue fire. "Commander," Tallinn whispered, "it's waking up." Outside, the Horizon's hull shimmered with strange patterns, like symbols written in light. The radiation storm around it began to calm, as if obeying the ship's presence. Then, without warning, a new message appeared across every screen in the Valcor. You have been warned. Leave this system or join the silence. The message repeated in every known language. Raven's claws tapped against the metal rail as he stared at the screen. Silence? He muttered. What does that mean? Before anyone could answer, the ship's AI flickered. Commander! The human vessel is now scanning us biologically. Biologically? Yes, it's identifying species, DNA patterns. Everything. The Valkor's crew exchanged frightened glances. This was beyond any kind of machine intelligence they'd encountered. Suddenly, the lights went out completely. Only the stars remained. The ship was dead. Every engine, every system, gone. In the dark, the crew could still see the horizon glowing in the distance like a blue ghost in the storm. Raven stood tall in the silence, his voice calm but cold. Bring the backup cores online. I want that ship scanned inside and out. If it's a ghost from Earth... He paused, his eyes narrowing. Then we're about to find out why the galaxy buried humanity's name. Outside, the horizon turned its massive hull toward them, as if it had heard him, and then... It began to move. The alien cruiser Valkor drifted powerless in the darkness. Only the stars glowed outside, and the ghostly light of the USS Horizon shimmered through the radiation storm like a cold blue sun. For the first time in centuries, the name human was whispered again among the living. Engines are offline. Commander, said Officer Talon, his voice shaking. Backup systems are trying to restart, but the human signal keeps blocking us. Commander Raven stood at the center of the dark bridge, calm but tense. Can you isolate the interference? Negative. It's everywhere. In our communications, life support, even in our environmental sensors. It's like the ship's alive inside our systems. The crew worked in silence, their faces lit only by the soft red emergency lights. The hum of the horizon's strange energy pulsed through the void, deep and steady, like a heartbeat. Then, without warning, the Valkor's lights flickered back to life. A voice came through the speakers. It wasn't alien. It wasn't mechanical. It was human. Identify yourselves, the bridge crew froze. The voice was calm, male but heavy with static, like it came from deep underwater. Raven stepped forward. This is Commander Raven of the Thal Dominion. We are explorers. Who is this? You are intruding in restricted human space. The crew exchanged nervous glances. Human space? That region of the galaxy had been abandoned for centuries. The human worlds had all turned to dust. Raven replied carefully. There are no humans left. The human worlds fell 300 years ago. The voice paused. Then coldly, incorrect. The screen in front of them lit up. Lines of old human code scrolled rapidly. Ancient Earth symbols the translator struggled to understand. Then an image appeared. The horizon fully powered, as it once was centuries ago. The ship was beautiful in its prime, silver hull, twin engines, and the blue flag of Earth painted proudly on its side. But the image changed. The same ship now burned, shattered, drifting through war-torn space. And then in a silence. We remember the war, the voice said. We remember what they did to us, Talon whispered. It's not a recording. It's talking to us. Raven's voice was low. Who are you? There was a long, broken breath from the speakers. I am the horizon. The words echoed through the bridge. The ship itself was speaking. We were left behind. We waited for orders. No one came, so we kept waiting. The bridge went silent again. Only the hum of static filled the air. Raven tried to remain composed. You're an artificial intelligence? I was more, it replied. I was crew. I was command. I was human. A chill passed through every officer on the bridge. Talon whispered, Commander, I think it's carrying a human consciousness. Raven's mind raced. Could that even be possible? A human mind living inside a ship for centuries? He took a steady breath. Horizon, we mean no harm. We only want to understand. Understand? The voice grew louder, harsher. You scan, you probe, you approach, and just like they did. Who? Raven asked. The reply came like thunder. The ones who ended us. The ones who watched Earth burn. The entire bridge shook as a wave of energy hit the Valkor. Alarms blared. Shields down to 60%, shouted the engineer. It's using its engines to push us away. Raven gritted his teeth. Helm, stabilize position. Do not fire. The horizon loomed larger on the main display. Through the storm, the alien crew could see flashes of light inside its dark windows, like movement. Talon whispered, "Commander." "I'm detecting life signs." Raven turned sharply. "What?" "Yes. Dozens of faint signatures inside the ship. But they're frozen. Temperature near absolute zero. I think they're preserved," Raven finished. The bridge grew silent again. The idea was terrifying. A ship carrying its dead for centuries still protecting them. Raven made his choice. "Prepare a boarding team." "I want to see what's inside." Talon stared at him. "Sir, that's madness. If it can hack us from a distance, what will it do when we're inside?" Raven's voice was calm. "Then we'll find out what humanity left be." The USS Horizon moved through the void like a ghost with purpose. Its ancient engines, silent for centuries, now burned blue again, dragging the alien cruiser Valcor in its gravitational wake. On the bridge of the Valcor, chaos reigned. Alarms flashed, systems screamed, and the crew fought to regain control. "Commander!" Officer Talon shouted, his hands flying over the controls. "The Horizon has locked us with a tractor field. We can't break free." Commander Raven stood steady in the middle of the chaos, his dark eyes focused on the holoscreen. The massive human vessel filled the display like a steel mountain wrapped in blue fire. "How is it doing this?" he demanded. Talon's voice trembled. "This ship is rewriting our thruster commands before they reach the engines. It's predicting our actions before we make them." The Horizon's voice came through the comms again, calm, emotionless, human. "All systems synchronized. Prepare for jump." The crew froze. Raven barked, "Jump!" "What jump?" Without warning, the Horizon's engines flared. Space twisted. Stars vanished. The Valcor's crew were slammed against their stations as the two ships vanished into the void. When the stars reappeared, the entire bridge fell silent. They were no longer near the radiation storm. The screens showed a massive nebula glowing red and gold, and in its center, a dying star. "Coordinates unknown," Talon said softly. "We've been pulled thousands of light years." Raven steadied himself. "Is this Earth sector?" "Negative. No known map matches these coordinates. We are in uncharted space." The Horizon floated ahead, silent now, its engines dim. Its hull glowed faintly from the heat of the nearby star. Raven narrowed his eyes. "Why bring us here?" The ship answered. "Mission parameters. Signal source detected. Begin activation." A pulse of light rippled from the Horizon's hull, spreading across the nebula like a wave. On the scanners, something began to answer. Faint lights appeared inside the red clouds. Dozens of them. Then hundreds. Structures hidden inside the gas and dust began to glow. Long forgotten shapes of metal and stone. Talon gasped. "Commander!" "There are stations inside the nebula. Massive ones. Human origin." Raven's eyes widened. "How massive?" "Each one the size of a moon." The lights continued to awaken. The nebula came alive with movement. Huge automated platforms unfolded like sleeping giants, their hulls covered in rusted human markings. The words on one of them appeared clear on the screen. "Sol Defense Network, Omega Forge." The bridge went cold. Raven whispered, "They built this 300 years ago?" The Horizon's voice returned. "Final defense grid detected. Initiating handshake protocol. Restoring control." The Valcor's scanners lit up. Again, thousands of small signals now moving inside the nebula. Drones, fighters, ships, all of them human-made. The alien crew could only watch as the nebula turned into a storm of machines. Inside the Horizon, the boarding team stumbled through flickering corridors. The ship was shaking gently as if alive again. "Commander," said Talon through the comm, "the ship is communicating with the forges." "It's sending ancient codes. Can you stop it?" Raven asked. "Negative. Its systems are locked. It's using old Earth military encryption. We can't even read the code." The boarding team reached the central chamber, a massive sphere filled with cables glowing with soft blue light. In the center floated a capsule of crystal and metal, and inside that capsule, "A human body by the stars," whispered one of the aliens. The man inside was perfectly preserved, his eyes closed, his uniform marked with the symbol of Earth Command. A faint pulse of light glowed from the implant on his neck. Before they could move closer, the voice of the Horizon spoke again, now deeper, slower, almost human. If you found this ship, it means humanity failed. The crew froze. The voice was coming from everywhere, through the walls, the air, even their helmets. If you're listening, it means we're not done yet. Talon's heart pounded. Commander, it's not just an AI, it's him. The human captain. His mind is inside the ship. Raven's voice came through the comm calmly, but his tone was grave. Then we're standing inside his tomb. The boarding team tried to back away, but the doors sealed shut with a hiss. You are witnesses now, said the voice. The awakening cannot be stopped. Outside, the massive forges in the nebula began to shift. The star at the center pulsed brighter, and something enormous, started to rise from within it. Talon watched the scanner readings from the Valkor. Commander, something's forming inside the star. I can't believe this. It's building something. Building what? Raven asked. Talon's eyes widened. A ship, sir. No, bigger. It's building an armada. Inside the horizon, the blue light around the preserved human body grew brighter. The capsule began to open. The human's chest rose. A slow mechanical breath. Life signs increasing, said one of the alien medics in fear. He's waking up. The horizon's voice whispered softly, almost human again. The mission lives. The fire returns. Then, the man's eyes opened. They glowed the same cold blue as the ship. On the Valkor, Talon shouted, Commander, the forges are activating weapons. Power readings off the scale. Raven gritted his teeth. Raise shields. Get us out of here! The Valkor's engines roared to life, but the horizon turned toward them, blocking the way. You cannot leave, it said. The awakening is incomplete. Raven shouted back, You're going to destroy everything in this system. Why, what are you doing? The voice grew deeper, echoing like thunder. Completing the mission. Humanity must rise again. Energy waves burst from the forges, shaking the entire system. The star at the nebula's heart began to collapse, forming a massive gravity well. Talon cried out, It's pulling energy from the star, converting it into weapon cores. The horizon began transmitting across the nebula. Every human construct responded with one word, awakened. Raven's eyes filled with dread. They built an army that sleeps inside stars. And now, that army was waking up. The Valkor's shields flared as another shockwave hit. The horizon of the dying star expanded, turning space crimson. Inside the alien ship, systems flickered, engines burned, and fear spread through every heart. But Raven stood tall at the center of the bridge, his voice steady. Prepare to transmit to the Council, he said. Tell them, humanity's war machines are still alive. Outside the window, the horizon floated before them, glowing brighter than the star itself. Its human captain's voice spoke one last time, calm and final. We waited 3 centuries. Now, the galaxy will remember who we were. The red light of the collapsing star washed over everything. The awakening code had begun. The dying star at the heart of the nebula burned brighter than ever. Around it, ancient human machines awakened from centuries of sleep. Great forges, battle platforms, and orbiting factories that had once guarded Earth's farthest colonies. The alien cruiser Valkor drifted on the edge of that storm of rebirth, powerless to stop what was happening. Its scanners were flooded with impossible readings. Commander, shouted Officer Talon over the hum of failing consoles. Energy levels are rising in all forges. Each one is drawing power from the star itself. Commander Raven stood motionless, staring at the screen. The forges, those moon-sized machines, were glowing like suns. Thousands of small ships detached from their surfaces, spreading out across the nebula like a metallic swarm. What are they doing? Raven asked. Talon's eyes widened as he read the data. They're building, sir. They're manufacturing ships, drones, interceptors, heavy cruisers. All human design. The bridge went quiet. Only the deep hum of the horizon's engines filled the silence. The ancient human ship hovered in the center of the nebula, connected to the forges by glowing streams of data. Its voice returned, steady but colder than before. Omega Protocol online. Defense grid awakening. Humanity endures. Raven's claws tightened against the console. Defense grid? Against what? The horizon answered instantly. Against extinction. Inside the horizon, the boarding team was trapped in the core chamber. The blue glow from the central capsule had grown brighter. The preserved human, Commander Elias Kane, now stood upright, eyes open, glowing faintly with artificial light. He spoke slowly, his voice low and human, but laced with the cold tone of machinery. "Who are you?" The alien team froze. Their leader, Lieutenant Varric, stepped forward carefully. "We are explorers from the Thal Dominion. We found your ship drifting. We mean no harm." Kane's gaze was distant. "Thal Dominion." He repeated the words like a memory. "You were not there when we fell. You don't understand what we became." Varric swallowed. What did humanity become? Kane's expression darkened. Desperate. He turned toward a console that came alive at his touch. The ship trembled as data streamed across every surface. "We built weapons the galaxy could never imagine. Machines that could think, adapt, rebuild. We buried them inside stars, waiting for the day humanity would need them again." Varric whispered. "But humanity is gone." Kane's head tilted slightly. "Then I will awaken them in their name." Back on the Valkor, the crew watched in disbelief as the forges aligned themselves in a perfect circle around the star. The dying light of the sun pulsed, feeding their energy cores. Talene muttered, "They're forming a network." "It's like a shield." Robin's eyes narrowed. "A shield?" "Yes, Commander. A defense barrier strong enough to cover an entire system." Robin exhaled slowly. "They built fortresses around dying stars, waiting for enemies that never came. But then the energy read-in. The pulse from the dying star spread through the void like a heartbeat. Every sensor on the Valkor overloaded as the wave hit. Systems flickered, screens turned white, and alarms echoed across the ship. "Commander," Officer Talon shouted, his claws flying across the console. "All navigation systems are down. Every beacon, every relay, offline." The bridge filled with static. For a moment it felt like the galaxy itself had gone silent. Then the lights returned. But the stars outside were different. They were moving. Talon's voice trembled. "Sir, there are thousands of signatures appearing on long-range scan. All human design. Ships, some old, some completely new. They're activating everywhere the signal touched." Commander Robin stared in disbelief. "You mean the signal woke them up?" "Yes, sir. Across sectors. It's like they've been waiting for that pulse for centuries." Robin's eyes darkened. "And now they're coming online all at once." Deep inside the nebula, the horizon was no longer just a derelict relic. Its hull shimmered with power, its engines alive with starlight. The human hybrid, Commander Elias Kane, stood on the command bridge, surrounded by projections of long-dormant human fleets reawakening across the void. A calm voice echoed through the chamber. The AI that once served the old human navy. "Commander," Omega signal confirmed. "Planetary defense networks responding. Fleet fragments rejoining. Estimated count, 3.2 million vessels operational within 12 hours. Kane's eyes glowed brighter. "Begin coordination. Assign priority targets to all systems still showing alien control." "Confirmed." "Priority, reclaim human space. Directive 0 active." Outside, one of the great forges turned, its cannons shifting toward the stars. The war humanity had prepared for, one they were too late to fight, was now beginning without them. On the Valkor, panic spread across the crew. Every screen showed the same thing. Human ships rising from gas clouds, crawling out of asteroid fields, and even emerging from within planets. "They built fleets inside worlds," whispered Talon. "They turned planets into weapons." Robin didn't speak. He could only watch as thousands of human ships began to move. Not at random, but in formation. Perfect, flawless formation, like a single mind guiding them all. "Sir," Talon said quietly, "they're not communicating on any frequency we can detect." Robin frowned. "Then how are they coordinating?" Talon hesitated. "They're using gravitational pulses, Commander. Like the heartbeat we just felt." Robin turned slowly toward the stars. The pulse wasn't just a wake-up call. It was a command. The Galactic Council, hundreds of light years away, was in chaos. Every species, from the insectoid Drek to the crystalline Veil, reported the same phenomenon. Human ships activating in forgotten regions of space. Counselor Vren of the Veil slammed his crystal hand against the table. "We wiped them out 3 centuries ago. They cannot return." An old admiral from the Thal Dominion stood slowly. "You didn't wipe them out," he said grimly. "You only killed their flesh. You never killed their machines." The chamber fell silent. The admiral continued. "I fought in the last war against humans. Even back then, they were building things they didn't fully understand. Machines that learned. That remembered. Counselor Vren's eyes flashed. Then what are we facing now? The Admiral looked up at the hollow map of spreading human signals. The memory of humanity and its wrath. Back aboard the horizon, Commander Kane stood before a projection of the galaxy. Red lights marked the systems once claimed by humanity. Now those lights were growing, spreading like fire. Status of primary fleets? He asked. 74% operational, the AI replied. Contact established with Dreadnought Titan Forge, Carrier Sol Reborn, and Fleet Command Node Echo Prime. Awaiting further instruction. Kane's voice was steady. Proceed with Phase 2. Secure all human relics. Begin elimination of hostile structures. The AI hesitated. Define hostile. Kane looked out at the stars. Everything that isn't us. Meanwhile, on the Valkor, Raven was preparing for the impossible. The alien ship was surrounded by smaller human drones, thousands of them moving silently in perfect circles around the cruiser. Commander, said Talon, his voice shaking. They're not attacking. They're scanning us. Raven gritted his teeth, trying to see if we're a threat. Then the console flickered. A human voice, calm and emotionless, echoed through the ship's comms. Identify species. Confirm allegiance, Raven answered carefully. We are explorers from the Thal Dominion. We found your vessel adrift. We mean no harm. There was a long pause. Then the voice replied. Humanity remembers the Thal Dominion. You watched as we burned. You offered no aid. Raven's throat tightened. That was before my time. Before any of us. Time does not erase betrayal. The channel went dead. A moment later, one of the drones latched onto the Valkor's hull. Alarms blared. Commander, it's draining our power. Talon shouted, cut it loose. But it was too late. The ship's lights dimmed as the drone absorbed energy directly from the core. Then it detached and drifted away, as if satisfied. What was that? Talon gasped. Raven exhaled slowly. A warning. They could have destroyed us. Instead, they're marking us. Marking us for what? Raven turned toward the glowing horizon of the nebula. For what comes next? Hours passed. Across the galaxy, the human fleets began to move. Entire sectors went dark as the machines activated defense fields and reclaimed old battle zones. Ancient orbital cannons powered up over dead worlds. Planetary AI cores reconnected. Civilizations panicked. Trade routes collapsed. Communication networks fell apart. And yet, through all of it, a single message spread from system to system, hijacking every frequency, every screen, every device. To all non-human life, you trespassed upon the graves of our kind. You took what was ours. Now humanity reclaims its legacy. Do not resist. The past has returned. Back on the horizon, Kane watched the message spread. The AI spoke again, cautious. Commander, resistance from alien fleets has begun in outer sectors. Shall we deploy countermeasures? Kane didn't answer immediately. His gaze lingered on an old photograph, a faded image of Earth before the fall. Cities, oceans, children smiling beneath the blue sky, he whispered. They took everything from us. This galaxy forgot our name. Let's remind them who we were. Acknowledged, the AI replied. Initiating final directive. All across space, the human fleets changed formation. The forges turned toward the stars where alien civilizations lived. Massive dreadnoughts powered up, their weapons glowing like newborn suns. The galaxy began to tremble. On the Valkor, Raven stared at the horror spreading across his screens. Talon, he said quietly, this isn't a war. It's judgment. Talon looked up at him. Sir, what do we do? Raven clenched his fists. We survive long enough to warn the others. Maybe someone out there knows how to stop this. He looked out the viewport, where human drones filled the stars like a steel storm. But I fear, he added softly, that it's already too late. The galaxy burned. From the outer sectors to the heart of the Council worlds, reports came faster than anyone could read them. Entire fleets gone silent. Colonies cut off. Energy grids collapsing under strange signals that disabled everything alien built. No one understood how the humans had done it. No one understood why their machines were so angry. On the alien cruiser Valkor, Commander Raven watched as the star maps turned red. Each red dot marked a lost world erased within minutes. Officer Talon gripped the console. Commander, 3 more Dominion fleets have vanished. The human ships don't communicate, don't negotiate, they just purge. Raven didn't answer. He stared at the screen, frozen. The data was horrifying. Every planet that had once belonged to humans, even if now ruled by other species, was being targeted. The human fleets didn't conquer. They sterilized, Commander, Talon whispered. What if this isn't war? What if it's cleansing? Raven turned to him slowly. Then we're watching the galaxy's oldest ghosts burn everything they once touched. Far away, deep in the nebula, the horizon remained at the center of it all, glowing like a heart of blue fire. Commander Elias Kane stood on the command deck, surrounded by projections of burning worlds. His mechanical body didn't move, but his voice carried through every human vessel, every drone, every forge. We were forgotten. We were betrayed. Now the stars will remember us. The ship's AI responded, emotionless. Directive Zero continues. Non-human signatures decreasing across reclaimed sectors. Estimated completion in 29 hours. Kane's eyes dimmed slightly, as if something human still flickered inside. And when it's done, then humanity will stand alone again. He looked out at the stars. Alone, he whispered. That was always our curse. The Galactic Council tried everything. They sent peace envoys, broadcast messages of surrender, even offered to rebuild Earth itself as a monument. The human fleets didn't respond. Instead, they began building something new. At the edge of every captured system, giant black structures formed, like towers made of light and metal, linked by shimmering beams across space. What are they? One council observer asked. No one knew. Until the signals changed. Across the galaxy, gravity itself began to twist. Space folded. Stars dimmed. The machines were linking the systems together, creating something massive far beyond anyone's understanding. Meanwhile, aboard the Valkor, Raven finally made contact with another survivor fleet. The alien admiral on the holoscreen looked terrified. Raven, listen to me, he said quick.